Oh, no, 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 something's happening. Something's happening. Oh, this is awesome. It has audio as well, I think. Not that we can hear it, but it has audio. Yes, there we go. I can hear audio. Just a cinematic montage that's supposed to drive down into the city. Imagine this with a fluid frame rate, huh? But if it wasn't for an animation... Don't touch it, you'll break it. But if it wasn't for an animation, imagine how cool this would be for relatively real-time 3D renders. That would be very cool. So first start is always terrible because it does so much work to even get going. And once it's done with that work, we can go and, you know, actually use it. I think it's also controller capable. There we go. Frame rate is kind of stabilized here a little bit. There we go. I can now walk around, ish. So, if you're wondering, hey Jay, what kind of a terrible rig do you have? Why do you even try this on an amateur $300 laptop? It isn't. It's that's the kind of the scary part. This is an RTX 3090. My rig has 2 Xeon CPUs that are about as fast as an Intel i7 or i9, kind of 11th, 12th generation. And I only have 48 gigabytes of RAM, so clearly that is not enough. If I had 64, 128 or more, that would be much better. But yeah, as we just, you know, walk through this, let Unreal Engine compile whatever it needs to do in the background, we can go and see, you know, there's people walking around. And the cool thing about this being a project that you can dissect is you can have a look at how have they set that up. And I think most of the issues here just come from the fact that it's just assets, shaders compiling here. His face wasn't quite there a minute ago. And so as we load new assets that need to appear on the screen, they then get compiled if and when. And then eventually, at least we get something along the lines of 20 to 30 frames a second. Did we say we could run as well? We can sprint, RB. I always have to have a look. Is this? Yeah, this is sprinting. It's not bad at all. Comes with creepy music and stuff, so it's very, very cool. You're just having trouble catching both sound and mic as you play. Yeah, it's the problem is likely that you're doing it on the same computer, so the computer isn't really designed to record what it outputs and mix it together with the different audio sources. There's ways around it. So it does work, but it's, you know, monitoring is always the hardest part. If you had a second PC that can do this for you, it'll be a little bit easier. And let me show you something else. So I'm always imagining if you had something like this as a backdrop, and then you render a DAS character into this world and just use this as a backdrop, that'd be kind of cool. Or you can even combine animations together, like a DAS character, because we have all the assets for it, and then just 2D kind of overlay this into a scene like this. Let me see if I can find a car, because we can. Hello, people. How you doing? They're all meta-humans, and it's kind of funky to see how they're set up. They are a separate person up to the head, and then the body is different. So there's basically two figures walking on top of one another. So sometimes you see the same head of the characters with a different body and different body shape and all that, but that's basically how they've done it. But it's all meta-humans. Beautiful stuff. You can have a look how they've done it, play around with it. It doesn't make all that much sense. So it's not something like a plug and play project where you go, oh great, I'll pop my own characters in and then, you know, release this as my own game. Even though you could do that, it's difficult. I'm just trying to pick a car that's good here. Perhaps not a hatchback, maybe one of these here. A to drive. Check it out. Driving cars with noises and stuff, and you can, you know, get in, and there's a odometer. I think they also do destructions, these cars. Reflections, check it out. All real time. I mean, more or less. If you were to package this game out, it would perform better because all the shaders would be pre-compiled and not ad hoc. But I was very, very impressed for the fact that this is a free asset. Whoop. World streaming performance. Oh, I guess this is where the next tile gets loaded in. And my computer isn't capable enough to do this seamlessly. But yeah, it looks like in the distance here we're not going to see the next tile pop in and something behind me probably load out. So massive scene. Daja, it's not actually a game. It's a demo project by Epic, and it showcases how world partitioning works, but it also showcases. Can I just park here? It also showcases, well, maybe on the next intersection there. It also showcases how you can use a variety or a selection of meta-humans to walk around in a city. So I haven't built anything. I've just waited 80 gigabytes worth of... Oops, that was... God, the poor Porsche. Yeah, his shaders weren't compiled there, just for a second. Maybe I'll get that car. Animations, she gets out of the car. It's very, very cool. Yeah, that license plate, that's not compiled yet, huh? Let's wait until that happens. Man, totally drove into that car. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Oh yeah, we can also fly. So if you don't want to walk around, I believe you can go and fly. Check out other parts of the city. It's very cool, like as a simple like, you know, backdrop generator. Very exciting stuff. So yeah, you can pick that up. They have another one called the Old West Learning Project. That is a bit smaller, but also very impressive, and it showcases kind of how Nanite works. That's their automatic level of detail creation system. It's very exciting stuff. Is my car still here? Is this the Porsche? I wanted to... No, the cars have changed. Look at that. Oh, I'm in the wrong road. I think the cars have changed. Dang, where's the Porsche? I want to drive the Porsche. And you can go and walk again. So very impressive, and I wanted to show this to you because I was extremely impressed of what they were able to make happen and just show us and give that away for free. It'll buff out, you think? Yes, it's called City Sample on the Unreal Engine store, and it's free. I think it's in the permanently free collection. Oh, there's another Porsche. Like I say Porsche, it's not a Porsche, it's something that looks like a Porsche, of course. Woohoo! And she can sprint as well. So all these things, you can examine how they've done that under the hood, what's in the animation blueprint, how meta-humans are hooked up. Whoops. See if this car is actually faster, shall we? It's nice to be kind of on Earth rather than in the space station. Oh yeah, it is faster. Oh my. Oops. It's also, you know, destructive vehicles. That's... Ouch! Man. It wasn't even my car. So that's another thing we can have a look at. How do they do that? How do they make it so that vehicles can be damaged? Very interested in that. Whoops, sorry. It has a menu. Whoops, sorry, guys. It has a menu. I believe. There it is. Handbrake, menu. Menu, there we go. This is our map. This is the city's in-game map, and we're kind of at the very far right there, the little green dot. That's where we are, so we could literally drive around there. There's other bits and pieces here, like City Explorer for running, photo mode apparently, that's quite nice. Night, we can turn the whole thing from day into night. Also not bad, let's drive around at night. I mean, that alone, you know, is it just swapping out the HDRI, or what is actually happening there? Good question, isn't it? Crowd density, you can make the crowd more. That's gonna be bad, I guess. I shouldn't have done that. It's gonna calculate things now. 75% more crowd than there was a minute ago. Oh dear. Parked cars. We can have more parked cars or less parked cars. Or no parked cars. Well, then we wouldn't be able to drive. Crowd and traffic. I think this is kind of for visualizations. You can switch those on. And then you can see without the actual meshes. Whoops. Spawning in, you can see this is where stuff is likely to be generated. So that alone is actually very fascinating to see, especially at night. And then you just... So these things, I think they would be parked cars. And then if you switch the visualization off, it goes and actually puts the meshes in there. Yeah, give it some creepy music and wow, that's just awesome. Nanite view. Oh yeah, post-processing. Let me put it back to daylight. And put the crowds and traffic back to, you know, regular things. Post-processing filter, so this is the regular view, and then post-processing is a little bit like the Matrix. I think this is the demo that they've used for the Matrix. Quite nice. Nanite. This is a system in which any mesh that you load in doesn't have to have an additional, what's it called? Level of detail attached. So you have a high-res mesh, and then if that mesh happens to be far away from the camera, it would need like 2 or 3 other low-res meshes so that they load in easier and the world can be moved faster. But Nanite is a system where you don't worry about that anymore. You just say, this mesh, I want this mesh to have Nanite, and then the further it gets away, it gets like decimated on the fly, so to say. And I suppose this is what that shows. So very interesting instances. There we go, a bit of Voronoi tech clusters, like it. Let's have a look at the Voronoi textures here. Oh, triangles, sweet. So if we were to follow a car, they would get less detail as it goes away from us and more detail as it comes towards us. Crazy stuff, isn't it? Woo. G'day from Perth, how exciting, Spaceman, how's it going? I have not tried a Milo sandwich. I don't even know what that is. Okay, let me go and put this back to... Oh, material ID, look at that. Default, maybe. Also good. Did I put night mode on again? That's really all I wanted to show you. What else is in here? This is controller configuration. Yes, this is all I wanted to show you. If you're interested in that, get it from the Unreal Engine store. It is called City Sample, and it's available for free. And you can go and just have a look at all these things and how they're made. Like, you know, how they make these people, how they make them, you know, blink and idly animate and idly wander around. Oh, there's also traffic AI in here. So as the traffic lights go red, those cars, they should stop coming. Well, they should actually just, you know, stop crossing the... There we go, on the other side it works. That's nice. So these cars, they're all red. It's a fully fledged traffic system in there. Crazy stuff. You can probably walk, lady, if you want to do that. If you want to, you don't have to. Okay, she likes it. Oh no, there we go. She likes walking around now. Isn't that cool? It is just so cool. Yeah, City Sample, that's what you need to search for on the Unreal Engine marketplace. Look at that, it's on the construction side. And then if you don't want to walk, you just go and fly around. All the while streaming in parts of the city, streaming them out. This is another interesting technique here that I wanted to quickly show you. This looks like there's actual geometry in the rooms, but of course that would be extremely heavy going, and that's really not how they do it. This, if you look closely, you can sometimes, depends how clever they've done it. Sometimes you can look around a corner and you see more room, which, you know, wouldn't really be accurate. Like this little corner room here is a good example of that, where you think, hey, sometimes you can actually see the room extend back there, but of course there is no room. So this is done with a bit of parallax occlusion, I think. Parallax something. Julia, do you remember what it's called? I think it was parallax occlusion. So very clever to do that. I have no idea how to set this up, of course. But just like looking at these principles, you think, you're implying more geometry than there actually is. Why would she need slapping, Nate? Why would she need that? Please tell me. Can I land on the roof? I can't I? No. Oh no, I can't land on the roof. It puts me back on the floor. How interesting. I'm thinking if we get more projects like this on the Unreal Engine store, how easy it would be for game developers to just turn this into a game, because really we're all struggling with building this from scratch all the time before we even start doing our own thing. And I would like it if we just had, you know, more stuff like this. Let me go switch this off and give Unreal Engine a couple of minutes to cool down. So you can also wander around in the editor here. That is also possible. But you don't see the city. So this is just the outskirts here. The city is actually spawned underneath me because that's done on demand. It's a little bit like what I've shown you with my runner game, but on a much bigger scale. So the city is actually happening here, but we don't see it because it only gets spawned in the moment I press the play button. So yeah, very exciting city sample, and it's about 90 gigabytes to download. So be prepared that takes quite a while. Yeah, if you are in the Epic Games launcher, if you go to Unreal Engine and then head over to Marketplace, then you can search there for city sample, and then you'll find it under here, city sample. It comes with 3 other assets, by the way. So city sample is the full project that I've shown you, but then the vehicles, the crowds, and the buildings, those are 3 free independent projects that you can go and also check out. And then you can use the buildings or the cars or the crowds for your own bits and pieces. So this is that. It lets you create a project. It takes forever to download and forever to compile, but once you do that, it's kind of cool. So City Sample Crowds is then a standalone project that you can also get from the marketplace free and then use it in your own projects in case you need background crowds. There, this is what the guys look like. I think we've met some of you. Met Asian lady with the rucksack there. I think we've met them all. And it's quite funky when you look at how they've made that, how they've set that up. You'll see that the whole, like this part is a different part than the rest of the body. So the rest of the body is just, it walks around, and this is kind of parented to it and then has expressions and kind of, you know, very cool. You spawn enough of them. It's funky, isn't it? So I'll delve into that another time. Oh, that! Oh, yeah. I remember now. I remember you saying that. I remember we had this discussion before. No, I haven't had a chance yet. Thank you for reminding me of Milo.